ZENLESS on Zero's combat is quite fun, and just button mashing everything is going to work for a good chunk of playtime. But later in the game, you will get to read the skill descriptions of your favorite character and feel a little overwhelmed by all the new words, especially for skills that have multiple versions. So in this video, I will clear that up with respect for your time. Let's go in order. Basic attacks are very simple. They can be spammed on any character. They can have a top version, a hold one, or a mix between them. Some might also require a timing, like Envy, which requires you to do 3 normals into a 4th one slightly delayed or held. Or like Soldier 11, which gets fire damage if correct timing is used. Dodge is also pretty simple. You can use it twice back to back and then it goes on a brief cooldown, which is however not shared between characters, meaning that I can dodge back to back, switch and do it again. You can also dodge plus attack for a special move called dash attack. If instead you dodge an enemy hit at the right time, you get a perfect dodge, which, if followed up by an attack as well, will give you another move, a dodge counter. Generally, a simple dodge plus attack is a little bit better than a basic, but it really depends, and a perfect dodge plus attack is most likely to have even more damage, as you get rewarded for playing well. Moving forward, we have special attacks. These are your skills, and they have at least 2 versions. You can always spam them without cooldown for a much weaker effect when they're grayed out. This means that you don't have the energy for it, and that's indicated near a character's HP bar. Having the energy will perform an EX special skill instead, and energy increases slowly on every character during combat, even if they're off-field. Many characters have multipliers in their special skills that are even weaker than their basic attacks. But the EX version will be the talent that holds the real multipliers, meaning that most of the time you will not want to cast it if you don't have the energy for it. We now have the switch button, which is actually so much more intricate than you might imagine at first. When nothing in particular is happening, it simply switches the character on field with the next one in the party, in order from left to right. However, there is also a way to switch to the previous character. You can look it up on the settings of your device, but it should be C by default on PC, and you can change it of course. I honestly did not find it on mobile, not sure if it's possible. Anyway, now here it gets interesting, because the switch button has 2 more uses. If you get hit by a strong attack, you can press the switch to let the next character come in and perform a special move that will help you keep the flow of battle. It's a sort of recovery from getting hit. However, you can also switch right before getting hit, and this is ZENLESS on Zero's parry mechanic, and it's referred to in the game as assist. When you press the switch button during certain enemy attacks, you will consume an assist point and perform a perfect assist, which lets the character coming in either do a defensive or evasive assist. Generally, close range units will perform a defensive one, while ranged units will perform an evasive one. The defensive will actually physically block the hit, while the evasive will dodge it in a more fancy way. These two come with big rewards in terms of multipliers or other effects, but that really depends on the character itself. The time window in which you can perform a perfect assist is indicated by a light flashing on your enemy. It's golden if you have enough assist points and a character ready for it. It's red if not. These points are indicated on the switch button itself and can be recovered via chain attacks, which is another big topic, but let's recap what we learned so far first. Basic attacks can be spammed or held. You can often mix them and insert them after certain actions, like switching or dodging, and depending on the character playing, you will have different results. Special attacks require energy, which you get by simply using the character. They are spammable without energy, but probably not worth it. Switching can be performed at any time, but if used after being hit, it will allow you to recover, and if used right before an attack, it will give you a perfect assist. The only thing left to talk about are ultimates and chain attacks. They are grouped together in this section. You might have noticed that there are points being counted on the top left side of the screen. These points are called decibels, and they increase by simply fighting. Of course, more points are rewarded for better execution. Ultimates are really simple. The points are shared between everyone in the party, and when they reach 3000, you can use one ultimate. And that's it. Chain attacks, however, are very different. They are connected to the Daze Mechanic. You see, every enemy has an HP bar, and under it, a Daze bar. Many games refer to this as a posture or break mechanic, and it's simply an indication of when the enemy is going to get tired and be stunned for a while. While stunned or dazed, it will take extra damage. This is a pretty big boost, and the combat revolves around this mechanic quite a bit. There is an entire class of characters just made to get to this enemy phase faster. If during this phase a heavy attack is used, then chain attacks can start. What is a heavy attack is stated in a skill description, but things like ultimates, last state of a basic sequence, or specials are generally heavy attacks. The chain attack that follow up are incredibly powerful and comparable to ultimates. Each character has one and you can alternate between them. Even bank boosts have one. Depending on the enemy, a different amount of chain attacks can be performed. Normal enemies will allow one chain attack, elite enemies 2, and bosses 3. They are absolutely worth chasing, but a little less on big crowds and more against single beefy enemies. And with that, you should have a good understanding of the combat mechanics. These can be pushed quite a bit, and I'm cooking a few videos that will explain way to exploit these mechanics and do something like dodging and parrying at the same time, or animation cancel basically anything in the game. Just give it some time as the game is still very new. Thank you so much for watching, and hop on the live stream both here on YouTube and on Twitch if you have a question or simply want to say hi. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you there.